least for now, so I have to.
All right, everything
Okay.
else is set? You're set, you're
I'm
set?
set.
Okay, we're
speaking,
recording.
everything's good.
Lights, camera, action.
Deb, you are like the tech marvel, I tell
Oh,
you.
please, not really. And this is Nate, and
Hi,
this
Nate.
is
How are
Charlotte,
you?
this
Yes,
is
hello,
Katie.
how are you?
And they both ride Wesley in class, so that's why I was
Oh,
like,
that's
come out
great.
here and watch.
Oh,
and see
super.
what she's doing with Wesley.
Super. Okay, Linda, let's start. Let's in the walk, let's start with some leg yielding work, some half pass work. You can do walk pirouettes, all the things like we were talking about yesterday to get her at the leg. So you start to convey the idea, my posture, my position, that's your balancing point. My hands can't have you falling into them, right? And the more she's at your posture, the easier it's going to be for you to affect her balance, right? And again, it's another horse where getting her at the leg, like we talked about yesterday, is so very important, right? She's a little go-getter, and we love that about her, but she can't think about marching through you because then she loses her balance. Good. Yes, and think on forward from your left leg so she doesn't spin too much. Right, take the feedback that she gives you when you
Like
put
10
one leg
minutes
on.
before your time.
Good.
A 10-minute walk would be
So
nice.
leg yield away
And
from
she's
your
gonna
left
have you
leg
do a
here.
lot of walk too. We
Yeah.
did a lot of walk here,
Yeah.
so,
Good.
but yeah, but for
Half
him, it's a good idea.
First of all,
Right shoulder,
Yep.
right shoulder stays back.
Marvelous.
Exactly, and your right
Why is it
stays in the back.
recording
Good.
me?
Go. And then you hold her back away
It's
from
supposed
the
to go
left
there.
side. Very slightly. And half upright, and your right shoulder stays back, and your right cheek bone stays in. And then a half pirouette to the left. Close around the right side. Good. And every step the same, and close her a little bit more on the right side. That's fine. Very good. And now you'll fine. Very good. And then you'll her back away from the left side. Good. Come forward. Up and over to the right. Look at her outside here, not down to the left. Yeah, because that's where you want her to be going, with that right side. There you go. And then back in a half pass to the left. And go around the left side. Shoulder up those reins about 85 feet. That's right. You know, the thing is that, and push her back away from the left side. It's a compliment that she wants to follow the hand, okay? She trusts your hand. She trusts it way too much. Half turn on the haunches to the left. So when you have a horse that trusts the hands as much as she, outside aids to bring her around, that's it. And outside rein, yes, much better. Now, same thing off of your right leg. Heel her off to the right side to push her over to the left. So the thing is when you have a horse that trusts the hands the way that she trusts the hands, the length of your rein is critical because as much rein as you give her is as much rein as she's going to take and then some. Okay, half pass to the right. So I'm sorry, I'm adding to your list of jobs. Your list of jobs is getting lengthy, but like I was just saying today, good. Push back away from the right side very slightly and then half turn on the haunches. Yes. Outside rein, outside leg. Outside rein, outside leg reaction, left rein. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Have to be a little bit more emphatic on that left side because that's where she blocks you more, okay? That's the same as last night. Good. Left rein, left leg. A little bit more sideways even. Maybe a little less bending right. There you go. Very good. And then yield her back away from the right side. Leading with the shoulder. And then half vault left as she goes over. That's very nice. Thinking on forward. There she actually takes the forward out too much, right? She's a clever girl. Half turn on the haunches to the right. And think about your outside rein, outside leg reaction. Good. And then walk forward. And then outside rein, outside leg reaction. And then allow her to walk forward. That's a girl. Super. Pat her. So is that perfect for the ring? No, not yet.
Right.
Okay? We're in the warm-up, so that doesn't matter. What makes me so happy about that one is she was putting her left hind leg where you needed her left hind leg to be, which she's not a volunteer about, right? So that means she was starting to allow you into that side. So for me, that's super successful for this point of the ride. Your reins are getting too long again for the work that you're doing. It's going to make her too slow to feel what it is that you want, and it's going to make her too strong, and you're going to be too slow to feel that she's too strong. Yes. Yeah, and think about that left hind leg is exactly where you want it. Super. Very good. 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 I think you could have a touch straighter here, not so much bending right. Good. Make her a little straighter. Exactly. That's it. Squeeze and release on that left side. Correct. Good girl. Yeah. Start with the shoulder. Correct. And thinking on forward. Correct. Left side. Yes. And left side. And left side. Bring that. Yeah. Think almost a little hunches in. There you go. There you go. Super. Pat her. Very good. Very important, right? You just want to tune into where are my hind legs landing, number one, because it's going to give you information about where she is in her body. Number two, do I have the ability to change where they're landing? Also extremely important, because then you know that your conversation with her is starting to be effective. That's right, and left side. Correct it. Exactly. Little hunches and thinking when you're going to the right. That's it. That's it. And Linda, she makes it harder for you because it's harder for her, right? So you stay mentally peaceful about it, but you stay persistent about it. That's a girl. Tell her she's a good girl. That's right. Super. All right. I'm happy with that. All right. When I saw you walking over there before you came in, so I think she's probably had a good walk. Let's go ahead and start a little bit of posting trot. From the very first step, the tempo is yours. Good. Tiniest bit shoulder fore tendency. Good. Not any faster than that. That's right. Good. Turn on a circle line. Remember, for horses that like to be quick, circling is your friend, or shoulder fore. Everything to get her listening. Right? So when she's in a very forward mood, not so much time on very straight lines, because she'll just build and build. That's it. Think on shoulder fore coming out of the turn. That's it. Yeah. Very good. Let her be up there. That's fine. Good job. And you're already conveying at this point in the ride what's an acceptable weight in the hand. You want to be, it has to be a conversational weight, meaning that there has to be something there, because the conversation can't take place. But it can't be, and that's not a problem, I know, with her, but it can't be so strong that it's not conversational. Yes, and turn her around the right side, turn to the right, soften, one rein, one leg, just talk her through that. That's right, without stress. Good. Come right back through that corner again, but position her to the inside, maybe give her a little space on the outside, tell her she's a good girl. That's it. Exactly. Exactly. So you just kind of make it positive, but you get your point across as well. Super. Good. Shoulder fore thinking. That's right. She stays in balance at your seat already. Super. And circle here. And just slow your posting. Right. And turn. And almost walk as you're turning. Almost walk. Outside rein. Almost walk. All good, all good. Oh, goodness. And then forward again. Super. Oh, she is ready to go. I appreciate the energy, baby girl. All right, and almost walk again. Yes, and then forward again. We're not going to go all the way. I just want you to start to get a consistent answer. Good, and almost walk again. In shoulder fore, and then soft and forward again. And don't stay too long, okay? Think like the minute that you ask, think I might have to go forward again. So almost walk, and then forward again. See, because that's a better response. When she comes back too much and we lose the trot, then we kind of have to start back over again. And almost walk. Yes, and forward again. Good girl. Super. Yes. And yes, and you want to think on the way out that she's taking you there, that you're not pushing her there. Yes. Correct. And bend around the right side. Turn to the right. Turn to the right. Soften up the left side. Yeah, get that right hind leg going where you want, and then forward again. Super. Mellow marshmallow. Like you and your mind are so relaxed. So peaceful. Good. And then you're going to turn a little early, and you're going to leg yield up and out of that right side. So it's flexion to the right, but it's push over to the left. And in that, think almost walk, and then soft again, and almost walk, and then soft again, and quicker to get softer. That's it. Good. And change the turn to the right, and almost walk, and pet her on the outside rein. I know that sounds strange, but we're getting out of the book a little bit here. When she wants to look in the corner, yes. You make it about one rein, one leg, so she knows she still has a place to go. Good. And then you get back to inside leg to outside rein. Good girl, without stress. Good. And change the rein. Well done, Linda. Flexion to the right, push over to the left. Super. Correct. And so you want to think about it like she's like the radio dial in the car. You can turn the volume up, but you can turn it down whenever you want. And you can turn it to whatever level that you want. That's why all of these little baby transitions at the beginning, almost walk, are so important. Almost walk. If it doesn't work, truly walk. Yes. And then pet her. And then forward again. Correct. And then almost walk. Yes. And then forward again. All good. Super. And then even softer this time, almost walk. Flexion to the left, push over to the right. Good answer. And then forward again. Yeah, super. And then very quiet. Super. Just like take a deep breath. Yes. See, the beauty of the sensitive horse is that when you repeat this conversation over and over and over again, then your aids can get more and more and more discreet. Almost walk, slow down. Good job. And then forward again. Good job. Super. And transition to walk. And yielding off the left side, flexion to the left, push over to the right. Good. And pat her. Short break. Good job. Right, so from the very beginning, you're telling her, it's all right, baby girl, I'm taking care of the speed and the size of the stride. I think in my mind, I install a little metronome in my body from the moment I get on. And the speed and the size of the stride is my job. And my little internal metronome lets me know when the horse tries to go faster or slower when I didn't ask for it. And I immediately turn it back to the volume on my radio dial that I want. So if I want to be, for example, she's got 27 gears in trot, let's be honest. So if I want to set her at a level 5, it's my job to maintain level 5. That's not her job. So when she wants to turn that into a 10, I have to turn it right back down to a 5. And then I have to say to myself, wow, I have to be faster because it should have never gotten to a 10. I need to be adjusting it to when it gets to a 5.5, right? And that's how you convey to her, it's my job. And then it doesn't have to be big corrections, right? Because with the sensitive horse, the bigger correction can also get them more wound up. So that goes against what it is that you want to achieve. Make sense? Okay, so we're going to let her have a little bit of a warm-up canter.
Are you wearing your earpiece like that for a reason?
No, not
It
that I
should
put it
turn
backwards.
around. Yes, well, you just want the thing in your ear.
Oh.
Oh, I bet you can hear better now.
Thank you, tech support. I actually could hear her. I could
That's
hear
what I
her.
was like thinking.
How does she hear what's going on?
That was okay. Whisper.
Deb. Debbie's been taking care of my technology needs for 20-something years.
23 years.
23 years, right?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. I know, I should, but I'm not good with it. I don't have the patience for it, quite frankly. Little shoulder fore tendency. And the speed that she's in is because it's the speed that you want. Okay? Years ago, I had a horse like her. I rode in a clinic with Stephen Clark, big-time judge from Great Britain. And he said, the half halt must work or the next stride is a downward transition. Okay? I'm getting battery low on this, so if I need to, I'll just start yelling. But usually...
It
Yeah.
says that, and it doesn't.
It will go
die.
on
Yeah,
for a bit.
It'll go.
Yeah, usually
Yeah.
they go on for a bit,
Right.
just
I
so
do
you know.
have the charger here, so
Okay, so let's prepare and transition to canter. So with her, the reason that frequent little working half halts is so important is she's got so much power. It's a positive, right? But if she doesn't let you influence the power, she loses her balance, right? And that's why she gets strong. So if we want her not to be strong, we have to be able to manage her power. Really important that we don't get into the passenger seat with her, right? We are taking control of the size and the speed. Correct. tiniest. She's much better on the left rein today, I have to say. Like yeah. So, okay. If the right rein's getting harder, whose job is that? Yeah. Sorry. But so we have, but it's two phases, okay? I want her yielding from the left side, right? I want you to have access to the left side, but I don't want you to tolerate too much weight in the right hand. You can do both things at the same time. So as you send her over to the right, and she softens there, I want you to receive her on the right rein and then squeeze and release on the right rein so that you have weight there, but it's a permeable amount of weight, because the whole exercise is just to get her more even, but we don't want her even and 10 pounds in the hand, right? And actually the weight that is acceptable, she's going to tell you by her posture and by her balance, right? When she gets too low, whether that's 2 ounces or 20 pounds, she's telling you it's too much, okay? So that's why tuning into the horse is so very important, because they're giving us so much information, and we can ride them so much better if we listen to them. So I want you to be very clear in conveying what's an acceptable weight. That's it. Very good. There she holds her own head and neck a touch more, thinking of that idea of connection, but self-carriage, right? When she loses the self-carriage, she has made herself too strong. Good. When you're ready, transition. You want to do let's do the first canter transition from the trot, please. It's just better for their back. Good. Thinking on uphill. Yes. Okay. It's okay. Send her a little bit forward. Show her how that she can go forward without falling into your hands. That's right. Shoulder forward tendency and squeeze and release on the right rein. Because it's twofold. You want control of the left hind leg and then squeeze and release on the right rein. Correct. Good job. And here you can put her in counter flexion for one stride, straighten her, that becomes easy, and now back to true flexion. And then pay attention that when you do that the place where you have the hunches does not change, because it's actually not even about moving the neck as much as it is getting her through in her back. That's a better canter. Touch the right rein. If you have to go to counter flexion, do it for one stride and then soften it again and back to true flexion. Back to true flexion and shorten up the reins. Good job. That's okay. That's all right. Bring her back to walk. Bring her back to walk. Really, truly walk. Good. And then back to canter. So this would be one of those corrections where you make it clear the half halt didn't work, right? So I'm going to put you back into balance in the walk. I'm not going to run you back into canter. That's it. That's a better canter. Good. Your seat is showing her how to be more uphill. Really good. That's okay. And then soft the hands. Exactly. And your seat shows her how to be uphill a little bit softer this time. Yes. Really good. And then squeeze and release on that right rein. Correct. Much better, Linda. Oh, there we are. Good job. And back to trot and change the rein. And she lands on the hind legs. Good. And squeeze and release on the right side. The tempo is your job. And the ground cover is your job. It could be a little bit more ground covering, but not faster. Yeah, yield her off of the right side here. Right rein, right leg. Thinking her forward. That's it. Good, 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 good. And then yield her off of the left side, back over to the wall. And thinking, allow her forward, because you see the sideways is really backing her off today, which is why we're using it, let's be honest. But we want to find a little bit of a gray area that she goes forward and sideways. Good. And change the rein. Hands out in front of you. Good. Seat is her balancing point. And already yielding her off of that right side, up and over to the left, in forward, as much as possible. Good. That's very nice. Thumbs on top. Sitting up nice and tall, swinging forward with her just a touch. Isn't that very nice? Yielding her up and out of that right side. Good. Ground covering just a touch. Exactly. Because we need enough ground cover that the hind leg swings a little bit more under so that she has balance. So, yes. So as is typical in dressage, it's Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It can't be too forward, it can't be too back. Good. And prepare transition to canter. This is already so much better today. And the first step is from the hind legs. Good. Shoulder for thinking, and then allow her to ground cover. Very nice balance. Very nice. Show her that that's too strong. Exactly. Wiggle her off of that right side. Get her at your right leg. Yes, don't tolerate it. If she tries to take your hand, you are squeezing and releasing, and you're faster because you can't be stronger. Really good. Okay. Very nice. And downward transition. She lands at your hind legs. And they're your hind legs. You have access to them. Withers are up. Super. That looks nice and repeatable in canter. Reins could be a touch shorter. Get her at your right leg. And a little balance back, a little mini transition. Right side, soften the left at that moment, and then ground cover, it's over. Correct. And think on forward. Yes, and think on ground cover. That's right. Coach her through it. There you go. That's all right. And it's almost like a little half out on that right rein that I want you to do here. Like a little tick, and then release it. And then a little tick, and then release it. So you show her where the boundary is. Yes, exactly. Super. And downward transition to walk. And she lands at the hind legs. And don't attach to that right side. Tick and then light. Good. And pat her. Good job. Very, very nice. So here's the thing on the right rein going right. She's going to ask you, can I please just attach there? Right? That's what she thinks that she should do. That's where she's a little bit happier. Of course, if you attach there, that's when things start going downhill. So I want you to think it's almost like a little vibration on the inside rein.
Okay.
I don't want bending so much, because when we bend, it's a little bit too slow. What I want it to be is a little like tick, and then release almost to nothingness to break the cycle of her hanging there. Does that make sense? And just say, no, you just crossed over the boundary. I need to tell you that that's too strong, and I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to release it, and then I might tell you again, and I'm going to release it, but I'm not going to attach to it. Okay? This is a little bit the struggle with the horse that wants to be strong, is finding that line of when strong becomes too strong, right? And I refer to it as a tipping point, right? Because it might be that 5 ounces, or 5, let's say she's not light in super light in the hand. Let's say you have 5 pounds in both reins, okay? But she's in a super nice posture, and you're able to do all the things that you want to do. Well, 5 pounds is okay. If she's happy there and you're happy there, it's okay. But 5 pounds and 5 ounces might be too much if she starts to go too low, right? That tipping point can be very, very small. So pay attention to her posture. Her posture tells you if it's too strong or too not. You want to be looking to create a comfortable conversation, both for you and for her. Okay? So yes, there has to be connection, but when she goes too low, even if she comes out one day and she's nice and responsive in the hand and she feels really, really good, and gosh, I only have 2 pounds in the hands today, she feels fantastic, but the weight that she starts to go and bury over the bit and round over the bit, it's too much. Okay? So let her tell you how much is too much, more than any person can tell you how much is too much, and more than your own feedback can even tell you, because sometimes a horse can be very, very comfortable, but when they roll over the bit, the conversation is not sensitive enough. Okay? All right. I'd like to go back to canter. Really so much happier with the balance today. We're going to continue that conversation, and that's your baseline, is to help her with the balance. Keep one leg on there when she gets a little bit fussy. Correct. Good. So that's going to be your baseline, is helping her with the balance. But then I want to go in and start to do a little bit of stuff. So we're going to go into start with your haunches in, just to get the feeling of her sitting down behind, and then we'll go into the half passes, and then I'd like to see some fine changes when all of it works. But for me, first things first, we must have your canter, we must have your balance. Because I know she knows how to do changes, you know how to do changes, but if she's not in a good place and in a good posture, it's going to be more difficult, because why? It's more difficult for her. That's it. Good. Thinking on uphill from your seat, hands forward, little baby transitions. I want it to be invisible and consistent. Yes. Yeah, and then shake her off that right side. You can attach back. Yeah, and then soft. Quick to get soft. Good. And quick to get soft. And think on forward. And think on forward. Not exactly as much as she needs to wait. When she waits too much, then what does she feel the hand as pulling? Correct. Now sit her back on the outside hind leg. Bend her around the right side. Good. And then back to shoulder 4 before this corner. Exactly, because she's told you several times she doesn't like the looks of those jumps, right? So first time, shame on her. Second time, shame on you for not riding it proactively. And yes, and then hunches in. Shift, feel the balance shift. Yeah, close your seat a little bit. Shorten up those reins. Yeah, almost collect a little bit. In, hunches in. Yeah. And then show her the way back out to shoulder 4. Very good. Good. There's your balance. You feel that? That's a nice repeatable canter. Super. Come back towards me in a half pass. Yeah, that's okay. Thinking on forward. Exactly. That's the feeling aspect of it. So when she waits too much, that's also a problem. Good. Very nice. Now push her back away from the right side. Flexion to the right, and it's a quick right hand as you push back up and over to the left. Good job. And think on forward, because the sideways is going to set her back to you. And if it comes back too much, then she's not going to like the feeling in the hand. Turn on the center line. Yeah, she's starting to get too low. Make sure that you don't tolerate too much weight in the hand. Get her at your seat and leg. Correct. Ears up. Get your right leg on. Good. Come back towards me and shoulder 4. Ears up. Think on forward, think on forward, think on forward. Exactly. That's the point where you start to be able to ride from your leg. That's what we want. Good for you. Think on forward. Exactly. See, what we were talking about yesterday is we have to get the hot horses at our leg. And now you can actually ride from your leg. And not only can you, but you must. Yeah, super. That's it. Ears up. Yes, a little tick on that right rein, and then get off of it completely. Yeah, and then get off of it and pet her on the right rein. That's right. And then get off of it and pet her. Exactly. Little constant conversation. Up and over to the left. Get her at your right leg. And think on forward, allowing with your seat there. Yes. Good for you, Linda. Change the rein. Almost walk thinking. Almost walk. And then lighten the hand. The minute, yeah, it's okay. Walk, 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 walk. No, we don't do that. Walk. Correct. A mistake can happen, but no reason to run from trot into canter because she's already out of balance. So reset and do it again. That's a good girl. Yeah, ride those ears up. Yeah, shake her off a bit, just a touch, and hold her at your seat. Close your seat bones together in the middle of the tack and say, stay back here, and light your hands. Yes, because she can only pull against what's there. Yeah, that's right. Close your seat again. Close your upper thigh, and then light your hands. Yeah, and then shake her off the bit, and then light again. And then transition to walk. Good. Walk on, walk on, walk on. Good, and halt. Correct, and rein back. Because it's better, but there's still a bit of a negotiation going on, right? Canter, right lead. Good job. And light the hands. Give her a chance. Correct. That's right. Ears up. Shake her off the bed. Get your legs on. Correct. There you are. That's right. That's right. Super. And change the rein. And show me just an easy, simple flying change to the left. Correct. Get her at your legs. Super. Get her straight on the line. Ears up. Get your legs on. Keep her between both legs, both reins. You need canter in order to change. Good. And forward. Very, and walk. Walk. Walk on. Good. And halt. Halt. Yeah. Rein back. Oh, it's a good girl. And walk on. Good. And halt. And she doesn't land into your hands. Yes. Halt. Stand, stand, stand. Woo. Take all of your energy out. That's it. She brings enough energy to it. Good. And walk on again. Correct. Exactly. So as much as you need to be her physical therapist, you also have to be her mental therapist, okay? So she brings enough emotion and a little bit of anxiety to it. So you have to be like a sponge. Nothing matters. I'm so relaxed. I'm so tranquil. It's all good. That's right. Super. And canter when you're ready. Nothing matters. And that's so easy to say. Super. Good job. Little yielding up off of the left side. Good. Right elbow stays tucked into your body. Yes. Very good. Take the center line. Super. That's a nice moment. Yes. Very good. And you're going to show me a little haunches in here. And be fast with your hands. Make it happen from your seat. Strong from your core. Wiggle, wiggle in the hands. Yes, half out right and then light. Half out right and then light. Half out right and then light. Exactly. And then back to shoulder for left. Good. And you send her over to the right and half out right and then light. Very good. And then take the center line and half pass. Yes, and she stays at your seat and leg. Correct. And the shoulders go to the left. And you see the letter B between her ears. And you ride uphill to your hands, half out right and then light. Don't attach to it. Get a reaction and then get off of it. That's right. Good. Shorten up those reins about 85 feet. Yes. Get her back at your seat and leg. Good. Flying change to the right. Good. Fine, fine, fine. Transition to walk. Don't get into it in the mouth. Transition to walk. And halt. Good. And pet her. And rein back. Okay, fine. Good job. Super. Take the diagonal. Ears up. And flying change to the left. And then you're going to walk right after. Good. Walk. Easy with the hands. Good. Left lead canter. Super. Yeah, very good. Think almost walk. Prepare like you might walk and then relax. Okay, super. Now adjust your feeling. So don't ask so strong. Almost walk and then soften. Super. Diagonal. Good. Thinking on forward. It's okay. And flying change to the right. And walk. And halt. And pet her. Good job. And canter right lead. That's okay. Thinking on forward. Right leg. That's it. Very good. Shorten up the right snaffle. Get your legs on. Correct. And almost walk. Almost walk. And then light your hands. Light your hands. You have to give her a chance. Yes. And then light your hands. Yes. Exactly. Super. And almost walk. And put your hands forward. Shorten up the reins. Yeah. And then truly walk. And rein back. Good girl. Tell her she's a good girl. That's right. That's right. Good. And walk on. Good girl. And relax. And canter. Super. And then, yes, squeeze and release. Exactly. Pick those ears up. Super. And transition to walk. There's your moment. There's your moment. Good. Pet her. Give her a little break. To some extent, you know, she gets also a bit tired, right? So you want to get your point across, but she was already telling you there and rightly canter, like, I need a break. We just wanted to make sure that the break happened after a proper conversation, which is why we didn't do so many strides of canter, but that last canter was quite good, so it's a good moment to break on, okay? Really good. But the more difficult lead actually today is looking easier. Yeah, they switch sides. That's progress. Right. And that's what happens. That's a normal part of riding. And you just, the more difficult part of riding a horse like her is your mental part of it, right? There's a physical aspect to it, absolutely. I know she can get strong from time to time, but mentally you can't attach to it, you can't get irritated, you just have to be the right dosage of patient and persistent. Like, I think about it as like a positive stubbornness. Like, I'm gonna get my way, baby girl, but it's okay. It doesn't. It's okay. I'm gonna get my way, but we're gonna just do it. I'm not gonna make you upset. I'm not gonna attach to it if you get upset, but I'm not gonna give up either. And I'm gonna be very, very. And the reason being is that allows you to be analytical about what's going on. When the emotion jumps into it, we aren't able to process enough what is it that's going wrong that's making it happen this, right? I didn't say that very well, but you understand what I mean. So, it's what happens when most of your instructors are not English speaking, so I say things backwards. So we have to stay so cool so that we can be reading the horse's body and getting the feedback so that we can address the things that need to be addressed, right? If we get mad, we're no longer listening. And that is one of the biggest challenges in riding, is managing ourselves and our own emotion. There is no place for emotion, unfortunately, when we're sitting on the horse's back. Neither negative nor positive, quite frankly. Can't tell you how many times I've been on a horse, and let's say it's a horse that has trouble with the one tempies, and I get 13, and I'm like, yeah, we finally found it. Well, guess what? I didn't get 15 because I celebrated at 13. The moment for celebration is when my feet are back in the sand, right? So there's no room for emotion because it's going to make us too slow to feel what's going on so that we can positively affect the situation.
Champagne has to wait.
Yes, the champagne has to wait.
The champagne has to wait till you're back in the bar again.
That's right. Super. Let's let her walk one more round because that was quite a lot of work for her in canter. I don't want to do any more canter. We can just finish up with just a little bit of trot, okay? That's a good girl. Yes, you are.
She's behaving great.
A very, very good girl.
She hasn't worked like this in
Yeah,
a
that's why I
while.
wanna-
Yeah.
Give her a nice walk break, and I agree with you, Linda. Like she is a worker, right? So keeping her in that schedule as much as possible is going to lead to better rides, right? Because again, like if you just recognize when it's a challenge, it's because she has more power than she has balance, right? And in order to affect her balance, she has to let you in. And when the power gets past a certain level, she's not listening anymore, right?
She's tracking it.
Very good. Very, very good. Let's just go ahead and shorten up the reins, and we're just going to finish up with a nice adjustable sitting trot left and right. You're going to dial it into the temperature that you want, right? And it's not any faster than what you want, but it can't be slower. It can't be slower than what you need, okay? Good, and the first step of the upward is the hind legs pushing forward to the bit. That's it, and you're relaxed and take a breath, and you allow a little ground cover. Up, yes, that's it. Super, and just take a breath. Super, see how sensitive she actually is? It's hard to believe when they are a little strong from nature, the inner sensitivity that they can have. Good, and just take a breath. And let that manage it. Super, Linda. Change the rein. Take a breath. Really good. The more you can manage her at your seat and leg, the less she's going to lose her balance. Lovely. And take a breath. Yeah, she's right there with you now. Very good girl. Very good girl. Transition to walk. It's enough for her. And pet her. Well done, Linda. Right? And you read these books and they say, oh, and you should be able to manage everything by just thinking about it. Right? And it sounds so cheesy, and it sounds like, yeah, right, you get on and you think about it and see how you tell me how that works out for you. But I want you to recognize how tuned in she was to you. Those aids were invisible, and that's what we're looking for. And it comes from repetition. It comes from high expectations. It comes from setting some boundaries, but then also making sure that we're very quick to then release, right? And the consistency of that. And then when you have a sensitive horse, it does really begin, like my sensitive horses, my half halt is literally an inhale up and an exhale down. If I take a deeper breath, they already come back and they start dancing for me. And I know that sounds cheesy, but it works. But it works because of all of the transitions that I do ad nauseum for years in a row to say, no, when I do this, you do that. When I do this, you do that. And it just becomes the partnership that we're looking for, right? But it's the consistency and it's the expectations. I mean, let's be honest. I don't want you to have to halt Rainback. But today she needed that from time to time as just a reset of, you know what? No, my hand is not your balancing point. Because think about it, what happens. So oftentimes you don't want to use the Rainback as a corrective aid, okay? I'm not doing this because she's running. I'm not making stress that she's pulling against my hand. I'm resetting her balance because Rainback makes them tuck their pelvis under and go like this. So I show her this posture and she's here, and then we go back forward again and she's off of my hand and she's off of the forehand because her hind end has tucked under. Okay, so that's the use of it. And you have to be careful with the use of it. Like, it's worked for the last 2 days because she was so nicely forward. If you ever have a tendency where she halts and she wants to go backwards, you have to stop using it for a bit. But it is something useful as kind of like a mental reset. I would love to not have to use that, but we need to be effective, right? We want our conversation to work. So that was just a tool to use to say, you know what, no, I can't canter like this anymore. Your balancing point has to be here. Let me explain it to your body that you can do it, right? And then she started to give you some really nice
Right, that's been
uphill.
the hardest thing, is really getting her, I mean, we do a lot of quarter canter pirouettes and
Yes.
get her sit. And,
Yep.
And
Yep.
because that's been the hardest thing since you got her, to convince her, yeah, you can.
You
go down
can.
and sit.
And you know, so Hunchison also, it's an easier version of the schooling pirouette, because when you put them in 3 tracks and they have to rotate over, guess what? It puts them into a sitting posture. That's why on a horse like her, I love Hunchison, because you put her here, and then I want you to be very, very feeling and dexterous with your hands and show her that, hey, this posture actually is helping you manage things, right? It's not about your mouth, it's not about my hands.
Right.
It's about the body shape. Very good work.
Thank you.
Super, super. Super, super. Yeah.